We're going to do lab 2. We're going to do it in two parts as well. First, I'm going to look at string replace all, string replace last. So I've left in pound include studio.h, always. Int main void return 0, new line character, always. Now, one of the functions we're allowed to use, because we're not allowed to use that many in this lab, is alpha. If I look up the C manual and see how that works and where it is alpha. It's in ctype.h. Takes an int, returns an int. The int it returns, non-zero if it's a letter. In other words, 0 if it's not a letter. So is it alphabetic? Yes. 1, for example. And it wants a character, it wants the int version instead of the char version. If I press Q, I can get out of the C manual. Let's write this. First one, string replace all. I'm not allowed to use any other string function, but I am allowed to use that isAlpha. So I just saw that it's in ctype.h. That'll give me access to it. And he also gave me a check macro, but I'll look at that later. First thing I'll do is define my prototypes. String replace all. Actually, yeah, string replace all. I think it was called string replace first in your function, but that was a mistake. It should be string replace all. And it will tell us the return type is how many replacements were made. So string replace all. It takes a character array, call that a string. Here's the old character, here's the new character. Those are the ASCII values. Just think of them as chars, but they're ints, which is good because that's what isAlpha wants as well. I'm not allowed to use the string length function, which would be really handy. I might end up making my own here. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I can put it below main since I've made the prototype. And let's complete this. String replace all of these with those. Well, the first thing I need is some kind of string to keep in my mind for testing. String A equals the array hello world. I'm going to make a few strings, but there's the first one. So I'm going to replace those L's, let's say, with W's. Something like this. So in this case, that's the L, that's the W, that's the hello world. It's not a const. It will be changing. And I have to also keep track and return the number of replacements. So every time I find a replacement, I'll make a note of it. So for loop again. A variable, number of replacements. I'll save a bit of typing by calling it count for now. For I starts at 0. I less than string length, can't, not allowed to use string length. So what I want to do is go character by character and say, as long as this character is not equal to 0, or not equal to, quote, backslash, not forward slash, 0, that terminates the end of the string. So as long as I haven't found the end of the string, keep going. If the character in question is the one I want to replace, replace it with the second parameter, third parameter. And also keep track. When I'm finished that for loop, I'll return the count. So let's see. For now I'll do this. Printf %d, print the number, followed by a new line. When I call string replace all with the string A, and I want to replace L with, let's see, there's no S's, with S's. If you do that, there should be 3 replacements being made. and returned by string replace all. 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going to do a couple more tests. So by this point, the string should look like, I'll keep that in mind. And now when I replace the O's with P's, there are 2 O's. And finally, I'll replace the Z's with X's. There are no Z's. A good thing to do, since we're testing here too, would be this. Let's print the string. So Hesso worst. After that, the O's have been replaced with P's. And that's what I would expect to be displayed. Save. Compile. Run. Change to lab2.c. Run that one. Perfect. That function turned out perfectly. That's for string replace all. For string replace last, I'm going to do it in a new video since this one took us 6.5 minutes. It's just going to be a very small alteration here.